Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm so excited to be back with you for another episode of the Music Lab podcast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of our year-end episodes. Happy holidays, obviously, to everyone. Hopefully, you get to spend time with your family, your friends, your loved ones. But in this episode today, we are going to be focusing on the top 5 concerts of 2023 that Dogg has attended. I guess you're wondering how many shows or concerts we did this year. Well, we did 28 concerts, and that's not including South by Southwest in March for 5 days, which I think would probably add at least 25 to 30 of bands that we saw for that. But anyway, a lot of concerts, as you can see. And with any of these top lists that we do, whether it's top 5, top 10, it's so difficult to try and pick and narrow down, especially, like I said, with 28 down to 5. But I think we did it, and I think we did a pretty good job. So these top 5 and the top 10s that we're going to be doing for the end of the year, they are not ranked at all. It is just the top 5. So you're not going to know what number 1 or number 5 is. Maybe in my description, you might be able to figure that out when I go, kind of describe each show. But yeah, I don't like to rank, but in this case, I think top 5 is okay because we're not doing 1 through 5. It's just these were the 5 that I thought were the most memorable for many different reasons. So don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us. That helps the bands that we cover, and we appreciate that. Also, make sure to check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters, RAWR, RAROutfitters.com, for your end of the season and winter needs. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in. The top 5 concerts of 2023. So chronologically, our first show that we're going to choose is a show at XL Live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And it happened on a holiday, April 20th of this year, 4/20. The band I'm talking about is Houndmouth, ladies and gentlemen. The opening band was Oliver Hazard. And Houndmouth, to give you a reason and to give you some reasons why I picked this show as my first top 5, this was the first time that I saw Houndmouth, the Indiana band. There had been times, I think in the past, whether it was either festivals or, that they had come to town nearby, and I just never got to see them. So I wanted to make sure that I got to see them at this show, and they definitely did not disappoint. 13 of their 16-song set list came off of the albums Good For You, their latest album, and Little Neon Limelight. Make It to Midnight was a highlight for me. Miracle Mile, Mackenzie, Good For You, the title track off the album. And then, of course, ending with, kind of the hit that, or the song that really kind of put them on the map, Sedona. So yeah, Houndmouth, again, first time seeing them, so that obviously made it a big deal for me. He was really electric. The drummer was funny. It just was a good show. The crowd was into it as well. Just an overall good night, and that's why I had them as one of my top 5 concerts of 2023. And also, not to mention, or I would be remiss not to mention, Frank and Tyler at XL Live and with Harrisburg University Presents, always being able to put on these great shows and allowing me to be a part of those experiences. So I thank both of them. The next show that I am going to be talking about, and the next concert in our top 5 concerts of 2023, is a band that you are all familiar with if you're familiar with the podcast. The band is Goose. The venue was the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, New Jersey. The show was on July 4th, 2023. So we have back-to-back holiday shows. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, the reasons why this show was so special, it was my first time to Asbury Park, where, as you know, Bruce Springsteen started out. Gaslight Anthem is also, I think, from that area. And then also to see a show at the Stone Pony. The Stone Pony is an iconic venue, ladies and gentlemen, on the East Coast as well as, in the country. They have their inside stage, and then they also have an outdoor stage. So because it was over the summer, we did get to see Goose at the outdoor stage. Now, funny enough, they did two shows. They did the 3rd and the 4th. And during the show, the night before our show on the 3rd, they actually did shoot fireworks off during the show. But for July 4th, for some reason, no fireworks. And only the fireworks that we did see were just from like the beach and just from random people just shooting them off because it was the holiday. So, but anyway, I digress. If you want to check out our pre-show with my friend Brandon Aston, where we talk about our top 5 songs that we wanted to hear for the show, as well as kind of like a little bit of history of the band and just kind of get you ready for that show. That was this season, episode 40. So you can go back and check that out. The songs that really, really were highlights for me, the first 4, to start off with Atlas Dogs, into Turbulence in the Night Rays, into Mr. Action, which is one of my favorite songs, and then Butter Rum was just on fire that night. They also, the live debut of the Grateful Dead cover, U.S. Blues, and they also did a John Cafferty cover, which is also a live debut by Goose during that show, of Wild Summer Nights. Hunger Sight and Slow Ready were also amazing. And yeah, it was awesome, just that experience, again, on July 4th, celebratory mood. And the band was on fire that night. Definitely. So that was my second show concert of 2023. Moving on to the 3rd. Other than Radiohead, ladies and gentlemen, if you've listened to any of my podcasts or any of the Music Lab podcasts, you know that Pearl Jam is my second favorite band. And, the story behind going to this show even, I really didn't decide on doing this show until about a month beforehand. Ironically enough, the show after this show, Matt Cameron came down with COVID, so they had to cancel, I think, 2 or 3 shows. So, this was night 2 of Chicago, kind of Eddie's hometown show. It was at the United Center where the Blackhawks and the Chicago Bulls play. September 7th, 2023, folks, Pearl Jam. Now, you can also, like Goose, go back season 2, episode 54 and 55. Episode 54, I did a top 5 songs I wanted to hear for Pearl Jam. And then actually, episode 55 was a show recap that I did in my hotel room at 2:30 in the morning after that show. So that was definitely one to check out as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this show, again, it's Pearl Jam. So you're going to get the live show. You're going to get an amazing live show. Let me rephrase that. As Pearl Jam has been the past a couple years now since post-COVID, they have started off their set list seated. And so we got an elderly woman behind the counter opener. But then just song after song, Tremor Christ, first time since 2018. Green Disease, we got the first time since 2018. Immortality. Marker in the Sand was the first time since 2016. I mean, we're talking 7 years in between songs, ladies and gentlemen. Porch, to open with Given to Fly. Chris Chelios came out. They did a banner up in the rafters for Pearl Jam. It was just, again, you could tell the what that night meant to the band. They covered Street Fighting Man by the Rolling Stones. We got a Baba O'Reilly from The Who. The band was on fire that night. The crowd, like, I can't tell you enough about the crowd. And like I said, I was literally in Chicago for 26 hours. Went to the Cubs game, went to the Pearl Jam show, home the next day. Got to experience as much of Chicago as I could in that 26 hours. My seats, let's talk about my seats for a second. Luckily, Chicago was one of the venues on the tour where you could actually buy tickets like on the resale market. Some of the other shows on the tour, unless you got them when they went on sale, you were out of luck. So I think I paid $93 with fees for my ticket. I was up behind the stage. That's where my seats were. But it just so happened where I entered the arena, I was able to sit right behind the sound booth for the entire show. Met a gentleman that was there for his 50th show. It was my 14th show, so I paled in comparison, but great guy. And yeah, what a great show, like I said. And to be behind the sound booth for that show was pretty special. So that was my third top 5 concert of 2023, ladies and gentlemen. My fourth had to have a lady on my list. And what a lady this is, ladies and gentlemen. Back at XL Live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on September 30th of 2023. And you can go back to season 2, episode 60 for the top 5 songs that I wanted to hear that night. And it's Grace Potter. And opening up for her was Ghost Funk Orchestra, who actually played, I think, 3 songs with her on that set, or during her set. We got a 15-song set list. The top 5 songs that I wanted to hear, I only got Good Time out of that. So I was 1 out of 5 for that one. But man, oh man, Grace and that band were on fire that night. The songs off Mother Road were just amazing, like absolutely amazing. Her solo stuff, her nocturnal stuff, it just all came into a pot, and it just was amazing. She covered White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. She covered Deanna Carter, You and Tequila, which is a great, great song. Just again, and I was really surprised. The crowd knew every one of her lyrics. Like, definitely, and I remember like somebody talking to, like, definitely an intelligent crowd. But yeah, enough about the crowd. She was on fire that night. Like I said, the band was on fire. 15-song set list, so it was just enough. It was like, I think she played like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, but gave it all. Her outfit was great. She interacted with the audience. And another band that I had wanted to see before. I got to see her at Farm Aid back in 2015. But back then she was with the Nocturnals, and it was only, I think, like a 20-minute or a 30-minute set. So it was also nice to see like her kind of maturation and her evolution as a songwriter, as a musician, as a performer. So 8 years later, it was great to see Grace Potter again. That leads us to our last concert, and last in chronological order as well, and that takes us to October 27th, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. We witnessed at the Met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, My Morning Jacket and Maddie Diaz opening up. The episode was season 2 of episode 65, was the top 5 songs that I want to hear. That's where you can go back and listen to that if you'd like. The songs that I just, this band is one of the best live bands out there, right up there with Pearl Jam. To get this 4-song opening set of songs, Holding On to Black Metal, Wasted, Feel You, and then I'm Amazed. it just, oh my, like it wouldn't have mattered after those first four songs, the rest of the set list. I mean, just absolutely amazing. Lay Low was a highlight. um Victory Dance, of course, anytime that's played is awesome. Remnants was played for the first time since 2018. uh Jim did a song with Maddie Diaz, I Will Be There When You Die. um yeah, and then the encore, Wonderful the Way I Feel, Circuito, which is always brings the heat, when it's performed live. And then to end with Magita, just a classic that is always fire when they play it. So yeah, that was definitely a treat, to see them, and to see them also in a small venue like the Met, where most of this summer they were touring amphitheaters and bigger venues. So to see them in a 2,000 seat venue, and then again, not to discount our tickets either for that show. Good old cash or trade. Kendra, myself, my buddy Dave, and his girlfriend, we got tickets on cash or trade. Spent like I think $40 for the tickets, and we got box seats on the second level, right next to the stage, to the left of the stage. Like we were looking down on the pit, looking down on the stage, looking down on them. Got some great pictures, got some great video. So, obviously that had something to do with it as well. But in the end, it's still My Morning Jacket, and they kill it. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our top 5 concerts of 2023. We've got Houndmouth, we've got Goose, we've got Pearl Jam, we've got Grace Potter, and we've got My Morning Jacket. So, like I said, 28 concerts whittled down to 5. I easily could have put Andy Frasco's show at Republic when we were down in New Orleans for that. Anders Osborne played with him. Kamika Moore played with them. Jennifer Hartswick played with them. I mean, good Lord. Just an awesome show. So that was definitely honorable mention. The Arts Fishing Club Molly Martin show at the Milk Boy was an incredible show. And you might get to hear about Arts Fishing Club also in one of our end of the year episodes, but stay tuned for that. Mount Joy at Riverfront Park. They brought it that night. Fish. I mean, so there's a lot of good bands that we could have put on, or concerts that I could have put on, but those were the 5 that I chose. So in the comments on our social media, in the comments on our YouTube, I want to find out what your favorite concerts of the year were, or of the year were. Let us know. Let me know. Would love to hear. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great year for live music. As a whole, the industry is up big time. Obviously, that helps Live Nation and Ticketmaster, but also that helps all of us, and that helps the bands and artists that you are all going to see. So again, thank you so much. We've got 2 more end of the year episodes. We've got our top 10 songs of the year and top 5 albums of the year. And that will bring us to 75 episodes for 2023. I couldn't have done this without you, our fans, our listeners. So thank you. Happy holidays. And as always, I've been Dogg. You've been great. This is the Music Lab podcast.